Guys, how's it going? So by now many of you have seen this new excitement announcement of the Steam Deck. This is Valve's attempt to break into the mobile handheld gaming market. And you can see that there's this huge 4-image spread on the IGN website because they have the exclusive. But let me go ahead and just sum this up for you. So we're gonna look at some of the images here. So these are the images for the Valve handheld, and you can see there's like no shame of just ripping off the Switch design, right? But how else do you make a handheld besides having a screen and having some buttons? What is missing from here though is kind of the ability to detach the Joy-Cons, or the Joy-Con so to speak. So if there's ever a drift issue, you would have to open up the entire unit to fix this stick. So that's something to keep in mind. But let's talk about the functionality. It does have some start and select buttons kind of with these menus, and they do have the touchpad here for precision aiming mixed with kind of a stereoscopic aiming, so you can get a more precise aim if you're playing first-person shooters or those games that require you to be very precise. Now, as we go through the image here, what this can do is it can play PC games and you can hook up paraphernalia to it. But the goal here is for you to be able to play 720p PC games on this handheld in medium to high settings. You can also dock it and attach other paraphernalia to it, but the system itself doesn't come with keyboard or mouse or anything like that. It just comes with the entire handheld, and you can see it docks just like so, and you can play different types of PC games. Now, I want to talk about the positive to this is that for PC games, there's a bigger library, and if you own a lot of games on Steam, you'll be able to transfer them on here, play them on here. It will load to cloud save, and if you ever go home and do any sort of get on your main PC, you can just pull up that save and play it right away. That's the advantage. You're going to notice that this interface with the different icons and the time and the battery date and the Wi-Fi here, it's kind of one of those situations where it's like, can I copy your homework? Yeah, but make a little change to it type of thing. So they're not really kind of hiding the fact that they're copying from the Switch. Now, even the power button, right? It's practically in the same place, but the Switch is just the other side and the ports are reversed. So what can I say? Now, how do I feel about this? Well, watching the video itself, let me go back one screen here. Watching the video itself, it's okay. So what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is, do I think that this is a competitor to the Switch? Absolutely not. And let me tell you why. Because there's actually a few things here that make it not a competitor, and I think it's going to have to do with the kind of the pricing. So let's talk about this setup. Look on the screen here. Now, the unit itself, it comes in at 64 megabytes. And at 64 megabytes, what you get is you just get the unit and the dock. You don't get the keyboard, you don't get the mouse, you don't get the monitor. These are all startup costs. I mean, if you have all that, great. You can plug it in, and it may be better than some of the older PCs, but those are the things you don't get. Now, everyone has a decent TV, right? But not everyone has a decent keyboard, mouse, or computer. But if you do, you can take full advantage of this. So they announced 3 price points, and basically it's a 4-core here, but this is actually a really good idea of how much it's going to cost. So you have the 64 megs at $400, the 256 at $520, and the 512 at $650, which is a lot more. So the 64 meg may be competitive with the new Switch OLED version, but now what you're thinking is, who is this system made for? So if you're a PC gamer and you play Apex, you play League of Legends, you play Call of Duty, any of those competitive games, you want to be on the best computer rig that you can possibly build. And you want to be on your mouse and keyboard because you're a PC gamer, right? This handheld is not going to give you that experience. I mean, you can play on it, but will you be as skilled as you are on keyboard and mouse, which is kind of your native, like you feel at home on those control schemes. Now, I want to talk about this in competition to Switch, because this channel is more focused on Fire Emblem and Switch stuff. Now, is it a threat to Switch? I don't think so. This chart is from May, and you can see that the purple line is Switch right now, and these represents the months since launch. So Switch, right now we're around 80 something million, some say 84, some say 89, right, or 92 I think is the current number. But we're on track to surpass 100 million units, which is at the very top here, by this year. So not that very many months from now, we're going to be at 100 million units. So the Switch, the advantage of the Switch is you have a wide player base. You have friends that play games that are not available on PC as well. So we're talking about exclusives here. We're talking about Animal Crossing, we're talking about Smash Brothers, which is kind of like the college game of choice, guys. I know when I was in college, Smash Brothers is kind of the event that you play at every get-together. And then we're talking about Monster Hunter Rise. Now I know Rise is going to be on PC, but for now it is on Switch, right? And if we look at the software, and this is just the Japanese side, right? Because they inspire the Japanese creators as much as we do. So you can see there's a lot of exclusives. So Rise is the #1 selling game in 2021 right now in Japan. And Among Us has kind of broken that barrier and become #2. You have some Japanese exclusive here, but you see Rise is #1. Mario 3D Land for 2021 is #4. Mario Kart 8 is kind of their evergreen game, like your friends. You probably own Mario Kart 8. Everyone owns Mario Kart 8. You have Pokemon Snap. For 2021, still in top 10 is Smash Brothers. And you have Minecraft, and you have, this is Harvest Moon, I believe. But you see here, and we're getting Legend of Zelda. Now, do I think if you don't own a PC that $400, $50 more than the OLED Switch is a great deal? Yes, I do, for this Steam Deck. And if your goal is to play high 720p on medium to high range, definitely the Steam Deck makes sense. But once you dock that and you go to your monitor, which is most likely 1080p by now, it's not going to be able to run at the same medium to high resolution. The higher you go in resolution, the less quality of the graphics can be rendered by this little 4-core unit here. Because it's not a dedicated chip like the Tegra is, that NVIDIA made. It's just the standard chips that they have for PC. Now, the other issue that I have with the Steam Deck is, if you guys remember the Steam Box, it was this little compact PC that it was in partnership with a few manufacturers, including Dell and Alienware. They also released kind of 3 tiers. That was supposed to compete with Xbox 360, PS3, and you were supposed to buy it and put it on your home. And it didn't sell very well. So they just gave up on that after a few years. Same thing with the Steam Link. The hardware, I know they still make an app for it, but the hardware, they only produced it for a while and then they gave up. And you saw the sales for those Steam Link boxes were like $5. I know it was originally like 80 bucks and it's $5. So you gotta question, you know, Valve is a software oriented company. They make great software, they make kind of the great platform where you get all your PC games, and now they're making this Steam Deck. So they're a software company making a hardware company. They do have a lot of money because it's Valve, but you gotta question the longevity, how long this machine is gonna be supported for. And that's an important thing, because if you're gonna buy this and they only support it for 4 to 5 years, you're gonna lose out. Like, there's gonna be no upgrades. If there's any broken parts, you may not get them anymore, right? I know even with Switch and their Joy-Con issue, it's very easy. You buy like 2 Joy-Con substitutes for 10 bucks and you can just change them yourself, or you can mail them into Nintendo and they'll do it for you. So you gotta question that. The only thing that I worry is they're using this as kind of a stepping stone to develop software to compete with Game Pass. right? Because Game Pass is getting really popular. Let's be real, guys. The streaming services, the Netflix of the world, and Game Pass is basically the gaming version of that, right? You can just get day one launch games on Game Pass. If they're using this opportunity to build out the software side whilst making some extra money selling the hardware, that's what I fear. So I don't think I'm gonna get this myself. I mean, everyone's fighting for graphics cards for their PC rig, and rightfully so, because the graphics card are a generational leap. But other than that, I don't know. I don't think I'll be getting this. I think I'll be sticking to the Switch. I may not necessarily get the OLED version because I have the Switch version 2, and I got that one for the battery life, and because I gave my old Switch away to a family member. But I would just wait it out. I think Nintendo's next gen system may actually be better than this. If you buy this now, yes, you can play PC games, but how effectively will you play PC games? You gotta love like all those single player games. And if we're looking at this library here, let's be honest, Doom Eternal's on Switch, Hades is on Switch, and with the eShop sales happening all the time, you can get that for cheap. Alright, well, let me know your thoughts on this latest Steam Deck reveal, and if you're going to be getting one. Thanks guys, talk to you later.